I'm also the founder of Pet Kitchen. It is a dog. It's a nutritional dog treat company. So this is India's first pet cookery show, and I am going to prepare 2 balanced diets for your dogs. But before I go ahead, I would like to come and see and read in the comments if from Saloni, if my voice is audible. Do I need to make any corrections? Can I just get my phone back and see, please? Hi Saloni, can you see me? Can you please write in the comments if I need to change anything about the setup and if you can hear me well? Can you write in the comments over here so that I can read? Okay, while Saloni types out the comments, I would like to show you the setup for today. So this is my kitchen, and there you see Brutus sitting with me, smelling what all I'm going to make. And these are all the ingredients lying here for the recipe. And this is my recipe board. So I've made this recipe board. Because normally on an edited video you have the captions and the recipe ingredients keep on coming in. So I was thinking, how do I make it better for my viewers? So I made this recipe board, and can you put the camera on this, please? So we are going to do a veg recipe, and the first ingredient for that is rajma with hing and jeera, 1.5 cup. Okay, that's it. So my vegetarian recipe is a vegan as well as a vegetarian recipe, so that both vegan and vegetarian pet parents can benefit from it. And this recipe is also hypoallergenic, so if your dog has been prescribed a hypoallergenic diet from your vet, then this recipe is very easily doable for your dog. So the recipe that I'm going to make in my kitchen today is good for a 30 kg dog. A 30 kg dog roughly needs about 1600 calories a day, which means ideally we feed dogs twice a day. So one recipe should be able to give close to 800 calories. Okay, the important point to note when we are making a vegetarian or a vegan recipe for our dogs is we cannot reach the ideal 30 to 40% of the protein requirements. In percentage terms, we cannot reach that because plant matter is low in calorie. So to achieve that amount of calorie, we have to increase the volume, but the protein percentages go down. So when you are preparing a vegetarian or a vegan meal for your dog, what is important to keep in mind is that your dog gets the right grams of protein. So for example, I am making this recipe for a 30 kg dog. Dogs need about 2 grams of protein per kg. So the dog needs close to 60 grams of protein. Now in this recipe that we make, the vegan recipe will give about 28 grams of protein. It will be less than, so the dog needs 60 grams of protein from 2 meals a day. So from 1 meal a day, he needs about 30 grams of protein. And my recipe will provide you 28 grams. We can fulfill the rest of the 2 grams through treats. Okay, so let's begin the recipe. My first ingredient is kidney beans or rajma. So rajma are very rich in protein, and they are a go-to source of proteins for most vegan people as well as vegetarian people. So you have to pre-soak the rajma overnight. आप overnight rajma को soak कीजिए, अगले दिन उसको आप boil कीजिए in the cooker. But I have boiled them with hing, क्योंकि राजमा का कुछ डॉग्स को ब्लोटिंग कर सकते हैं, गैस कर सकते हैं, तो उसको काउंटर करने के लिए हम इसमें अच्छे से हींग डालते हैं व्हेन यू आर बॉइलिंग द राजमा. आप उस टाइम बॉइल ना करके बाद में भी एज अ तड़का इन योर घी आप हींग को रोस्ट करके इसमें डाल सकते हैं. सो माय रेसिपी सेज यू हैव टू टेक राजमा 1.5 cup. So I'm going to fill my cup with rajma. This is 1 cup. These are measuring cups. This is 1 cup, and here it goes in my Brutus bowl, and I put another half a cup. This is a little more. The next ingredient is मूंग दाल sprouts. ये दिखाते हैं, ये मैंने sprouts बना कर रखे हैं मेरी तरफ कर. So मूंग दाल sprouts. So basically जब हम किसी भी lentil को, किसी भी grain को sprout करते हैं तो उसकी nutritive content हो जाते हैं. They also increase in protein. क्योंकि हमारी vegetarian diet है, we need the base to be that of high protein sources which are vegetarian or vegan. So but this is not how you can serve. This is not how you can serve any sprouts to your dog. I have ground them into a paste. When we grind, so the plant material is usually hard to digest for dogs because they are not meant to digest plant material so much. But when we grind the food, the digestibility increases because we have already broken down the cell walls, which otherwise we do by chewing. Dogs often hardly chew. So the right way of giving such grains and such foods to your dog would be to grind them. I need half a cup of, so these are my measuring cups. I'm going to measure half a cup of the sprout paste in this. This is half a cup of sprouts. So the good thing about adding sprouts is that not only will they give protein, they will also give a lot of fiber, which makes the bowel movement for your dog very easy. Not only that, this diet is also very useful for dogs who want to lose weight. The next one is pumpkin cooked, half a cup. This is my cooked pumpkin, and I'm going to put measure half a cup over here. See, I've chopped the pumpkin and cooked it. So here I put half a cup of pumpkin, a little bit more, and this goes into my doggy bowl. The next ingredient is boiled peas, half a cup again. So why I'm using half cups of different ingredients is to add a variety, and also it takes a lot of ingredients to finally balance the meal of your dog. So now I'm going to take half a cup of peas. Peas are again very high in protein, so therefore helpful in building a vegetarian or a vegan diet, and it also makes the diet look, your dog's food look so beautiful. Half a cup of peas. Okay, so you must be thinking, oh my god, that is so many different kinds of ingredients. How do I prepare this kind of food every day for my dog? But चिंता मत कीजिए, इतना मुश्किल नहीं है. मैं आपको एक सिंपल आइडिया देती हूँ. आप ये मील अपने डॉग को once a day every day दे सकते हैं. So what you can do is, आप राजमा का एक बड़ा बैच बॉईल कर लीजिए, मूंग स्प्राउट्स को आप एक बड़े बैच में बना लीजिए, सब कुछ बिग बैच में बनाइए and store it in your refrigerator. Or what you can do is, at the end of we will give you the proportions. We will post them on DogSpot's page. You can note down the proportions, and आप इन proportions को multiply करके एक big batch में रेसिपी एक साथ बना के उसे आप अपने रेफ्रिजरेटर में स्टोर कर सकते हैं. And then by weight you can take out the recipe for your dog and serve it to your dog every day. You do not have to do the same effort every day. You can just store big amounts in your refrigerator or even in your freezer and take them out and serve it to your pet. Now, the next one is sesame seeds. Why am I adding sesame seeds to this? Number one, sesame seeds यानी कि तिल. ये देखिए तिल. इनको मैंने overnight soak करके रखा था, भिगो कर रखा था, क्योंकि जो seeds होते हैं उनकी तासीर गर्म होती है. They are warming in nature. They produce body heat when digested. But we do not want that effect in our dog's body. तो हम seeds को overnight soak करते हैं ताकि उनकी heat निकल जाए. जैसे कि हम अपनी families में भी बादाम खाने से पहले overnight soak करते हैं और सुबह उन्हें peel off करके खाते हैं. उसका purpose यही है कि वो बादाम जो है उनकी heat overnight सोकिंग से निकल जाती है. सो मैंने ये ओवरनाइट सोक करके रखे हैं सीड्स, बट टू इम्प्रूव देयर डाइजेस्टिबिलिटी दे मस्ट बी रोस्टेड एज वेल. रोस्ट करने से क्या होगा कि इनका जो पील है वो थिन हो जाएगा एंड स्टमक में जाके डॉग उसे इजीली ब्रेक कर सकता है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू पुट ऑन द गैस. Okay, the light of my chimney is not working, but we can see it's not very hard to roast the seeds. Their moisture will just go maybe. Okay, जब तक कि ये सीड्स साथ साथ रोस्ट हो रहे हैं, मैं आपको सेसमे सीड्स के बारे में और भी कुछ बताना चाहूँगी. हमने सीड्स इसलिए भी डाले हैं naturally. Again, I'm talking about protein because they provide a lot of protein. Seeds are rich in protein. They're a good source of protein for vegan as well as vegetarian people. But not only that, seeds are also a rich sesame seeds, white sesame seeds are also a rich source of calcium. So अगर आपका डॉग वेजिटेरियन है या नॉन वेजिटेरियन भी है पर आप उसे बोन्स नहीं देते हैं तो उसे कैल्शियम चाहिए. बट अगर हम अपनी डॉग को या तो हम रेगुलर कैल्शियम टैबलेट दे सकते हैं या फिर हम नेचुरल फूड सोर्सेज भी ढूंढकर उसे नेचुरल सोर्सेज ऑफ कैल्शियम दे सकते हैं. ओके, सो नाउ माय सीड्स आर relatively roasted, but since we have paucity of time, मैंने और अभी रोस्ट नहीं कर रही हूँ, बट मैं आपको दिखाना चाहूँगी कि रोस्ट होके कैसे लगने चाहिए. सो हैंग ऑन, तब तक आप रेसिपी दिखा सकते हो. सो व्हेन वी रोस्ट द सेसमे सीड्स, वो पास करना, वो इस तरह से गोल्डन ब्राउन हो जानी चाहिए एंड एब्सोल्युटली ड्राई हो जानी चाहिए. व्हेन दिस हैपन्स, इनकी स्किन बहुत ब्रिटल हो चुकी है एंड स्किन को ब्रेक करके अब डॉग की बॉडी उन्हें डाइजेस्ट कर सकती है. सो हियर दे आर गोइंग बैक एंड आई एम गोइंग टू टेक ऑफ दीस सेसमे सीड्स फ्रॉम द गैस. Put 20 grams of these seeds in the dog's food. So I know by measurement how much 20 grams will account for. Yes, and the next ingredient is coconut oil. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil to my dog's food. मेरा स्पून पूरा फिल नहीं हुआ था इसलिए मैं ऊपर से अब और डाल रही हूँ कोकोनट ऑयल. However, this recipe has a shortfall of calcium by 300 milligrams. तो अगर आप ये फूड अपने डॉग को दे रहे हैं तो इसके साथ आपको उसे 300 milligrams of calcium की supplementation करनी पड़ेगी. And the last one is I love adding herbs to my dog's food. So I'm going to add a lot of कटा धनिया. So आप रॉ धनिया नहीं दीजिए, कटा धनिया अपने डॉग के फूड में ऐड कीजिए. And this is a perfectly balanced meal for your dog. Oh, one thing, I also like to add bhuna jeera to my dog's food. And the reason is जैसा कि ये जीरे को भूनकर उसे पीसकर मैंने उसका पाउडर बनाया है. सो व्हाट जीरा डज इज इट हेल्प्स इन डाइजेशन. सो अगर आपका डॉग राजमा इजीली डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर पाया या उससे ब्लोटिंग के चांसेस हैं तो जस्ट द वे वी एडेड हींग और एसिफिटेटा एज इट इज कॉल्ड, वी आर एडिंग भुना जीरा पाउडर टू हिज फूड. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू इज आई हैव दिस मैशर एंड आई एम गोइंग टू जस्ट mash his food. So that if you have a dog who just gulps down his food and does not chew his food properly, here the food has been mashed. And it makes for a good meal. I'm sure your dog is going to love it. Doesn't it look beautiful? Doesn't it look wholesome? And how do you compare it with a prepared bag food? I think there is no comparison to homemade food when it comes to serving your dog. So this is all that goes into my dog's food, and this is what I'm going to serve to Brutus in the evening. I'm not going to be serving it now because he has had his morning meal and now he's going to have it in the evening. So the next recipe is the non-vegetarian recipe. It will be a variant of this recipe itself, and what I've done is I have a jugaad for putting the non-veg recipe here. Oops, I got some dhania there. I'm going to wash my hands till then. You can read the ingredients. And also, pet parents, if you have any questions, I'm going to prepare this recipe and then come back, read all the questions from the comments and answer your questions. So please hold on to your comments till the time I finish the recipe, because right now I cannot read any of the comments. Okay, so let's begin with the non-vegetarian recipe. So the non-vegetarian recipe again is going to use rajma, but since we're going to use chicken, we do not need as many protein ingredients from vegetarian sources. So I'm going to put half a cup of rajma only, just half a cup. Again, they have been boiled with hing in it. So this is my half a cup of rajma. Now I'm going to take half a cup of peas. These are boiled peas. This is half a cup of peas going inside the dog food. Now let's see who's going to get lucky, because my dogs love chicken, and who's going to get the vegetarian bowl and who's going to get the non-vegetarian bowl. The next one is pumpkin, but we need very little now, just 1/4 cup. So I think this makes 1/4 cup of pumpkin. I love adding pumpkin because pumpkin is very good on the gut. It promotes a lot of healthy gut bacteria and it improves digestion. In fact, if your dog is having gastritis or any digestive problems, then it's recommended that you keep your dog on applesauce and pumpkin diet, maybe adding a little bit more of easily digestible hypoallergenic foods, the list of which you can ask me and I can give it to you. And so pumpkin definitely is a very good addition to your dog's food. The next is again the roasted sesame seeds. Where did I keep it? Yeah. So in this dish, we're going to add 10 grams of these seeds. So the remaining seeds, all 10 grams goes in here. And we add coconut oil. Where's my coconut oil? Here. I need to take another spoon. So why am I adding coconut oil in both the dog foods is that it's very important to give healthy fats to your dog. Fats are such an important energy source for dogs because the entire nervous system, the neurons are coated with fats, our cell walls are made of fats. It's not only just important to give coconut oil, in fact it's important to rotate the fat profile. In fact, if you're giving a homemade diet to your dog, variety is the key. Not only for homemade food, even if you're giving packaged food to your dogs, it's very important that you keep on rotating the brand of the packaged food that you serve to your dog, because every brand uses a different protein source, uses a different kind of vegetable. So if you rotate, the whole nutrient profile gets rotated. And also, if you continue feeding the same recipe or the same food, basically typically the same ingredients to your dog over a period of time, the immune system goes down and therefore dogs start developing allergies and also skin problems, which is very common among dogs. So the leading cause of these skin allergies and the reason why we put dogs on hypoallergenic diets is that dogs are recurrently served the same kind of diet over and over again. So the next is one boiled egg. I have a boiled egg which I have peeled also over here. I'm just roughly breaking it up, but I'm going to mash it with my masher later on. I love mashing my dog's food because they don't chew their food, and I love to mash it so that they can digest it properly. The next one is the chicken breast. So I'm using chicken breast, not chicken legs, because legs are higher in fats, whereas breast is more rich in protein. So I have chicken breast cooked here in 200 grams of chicken breast. So these are little coarse pieces, but I'm going to chop them further into smaller pieces. So I'm going to take 200 grams of chicken breast. Also in the lockdown only chicken is available, chicken and eggs are available. Therefore I have been able to make a recipe only with chicken. So I'm going to cut it further into small pieces. It's always better if your dog doesn't chew food. My doggies are notorious. What a feeling it is to make your dog's food with your own hands, see him gulping down the deliciousness that you make for your dog. Isn't it just amazing? And with the lockdown, it's all the time to experiment new recipes for your dogs, because the commercial food is not available and people are finding what to do for their dogs and their food. So this chicken is going. And the last one, oh, that's a calcium supplement. So this is it, and I'm going to top this up as well with some coriander leaves. Yes, and I am also going to add some jeera powder. So this recipe meets the requirement of about 30 to 40% of protein being given to your dog. This gives 44% protein, calories from protein by 44%. And again I'm going to mash this food. I like mashing my dog's food because, so what you can do is you can even mix all the ingredients and coarse grind them in a food processor and store them in small boxes. Sorry, there was poor connection. So this is my recipe for Dawn, and both the recipes are prepared. I'm going to keep this aside and I'm going to wash my hands. Till then, you can take a look at this recipe, and Priya, can you also remove this and show the other recipe? Yes, so I'm back, and you know what, I love all things dogs. Do you know my napkin? This also has dogs on it. Okay, so now I'm going to read all the questions, but what I'm planning to do is to read the questions here on my laptop, because I cannot see them on my phone because I'm being short, and you would just have to wait till I try to because yes, I think it's done. Hello everybody. So I think I'm pretty much done with the recipe making part. I'm okay to answer questions now. So can you? I'll try to read the questions over here. Thank you, Saloni, for complimenting my napkins. So what are the questions I have to? Okay, list of hypoallergenic dog foods. Well, there is a long list of hypoallergenic dog foods. Mostly everything gluten-free is hypoallergenic. So you can no wheat, you can give rice, you can give oats, but oats have to be prepared in a gluten-free facility, because if you go online and check for oats, although they are actually gluten-free, but people say they are not gluten-free because they might not be prepared in a gluten-free facility. Then you can give potatoes, and chicken definitely is hypoallergenic. There's so many. Millets are there as well, so you can just do a search online. The list goes endless. There are a lot of options for feeding hypoallergenic foods to your dogs. So what is the next question? Do I scroll up? Is including chicken in your dog's diet safe these days? So I wonder what these days means. Are you talking about summer? Well, if you're talking about summer, so I am a follower of Ayurveda, and I take all my principles from Ayurveda. If you read blogs of Western nutritionists, they would say that chicken is not warming. They classify some meats as warming, some as neutral. However, our Ayurvedic science classifies all meats as warming. So chicken is also warming, but it is less warming as compared to red meats such as mutton or beef and stuff like that. So you can add chicken, but then I also like to add herbs to my dog's food. For example, you can add dried mint powder, sukha pudina that we call. It's very commonly available in our kitchen. So you should add cooling ingredients to your dog's food, so that your dog does not get heating because of warm foods. Chicken is always safe for dogs, and it should be added. In fact, it's a very good protein source, and something that we as Indians are very comfortable in serving to our dogs as a non-vegetarian source. Not all Indians are comfortable in serving beef and stuff like that to their dogs, so chicken is good. And pumpkin aggravates yeast allergies in dogs prone to the infection. Okay, so I've not really come across that ever, that pumpkin promotes yeast allergies. Rather, it's a very hypoallergenic food, and it is easily digestible. If your dog is having skin problems, it is one of the foods which is recommended as well. Okay, so what is the next question? Is it preferable to keep your dogs on a meat-based diet? Well, this is a very important question, and I get it very often. I would say what is most important is to keep your dog on a balanced diet. Whether it is a meat-based diet, or it is a vegetarian diet, or a vegan diet, that is not as important as it is that your dog is kept on a balanced diet. So many people question me that dogs are carnivores. Should be kept only on a meat-based diet, or can they be kept vegetarian or vegan? So my answer is dogs, they have evolved from wolves, but they are not wolves. So we cannot consider that they are still completely and only carnivores. Many blogs claim that dogs are still only carnivores, but I do not agree with that. Dogs are omnivores, because they have lived with human beings for over 20,000 years. They have undergone over 20,000 years of domestication, and with that, a lot of evolution has happened in them. Evolution is, we are evolving right now as well, and adapting to the changes in our lifestyle. So have dogs. And not only that, there are videos on National Geographic. If you go online and see their website or their channel, you will find videos of wolves feasting on blueberries in America. So it is a myth that wolves are purely carnivores. They love berries and fruits as well. So what is the next question? When the dog... Yes, so the next question is, in my experience, when the dog poos, the peas sometimes come out whole. Yes, I agree with you on that, which is why I mashed the whole recipe, because most dogs do not chew their food. So when you're doing that, you need to mash it so that it can be digested, and that is the reason also that I have cooked the vegetables so that they are more easily digested, and then grounded them or mashed them. That's a big dog bowl. Thank you, Karan. Wasabi, no, I won't give wasabi to my dogs. Okay, and is there any other question? Huge dog bowl again. Yes, I like putting my dog's food in a huge. Oh, Sujata is also there. Hi, Sujata. Thank you for joining in. These are my comrades who give me so much motivation. Okay, so Shipra Gupta says, my German Shepherd doggy only eats chicken bones and half a cup milk. Okay, so first of all, I must ask you, what kind of bones is he eating? Are they cooked or not cooked? If they are cooked, then it's a big, big no. Please do not give cooked bones to your dogs, because they can splint. They become tender, and when your dog bites on them, they can break. And if your dog digests them, then he might not get them stuck in his intestine, and they can cause intestinal obstruction. So if your dog is eating only chicken bones and half a cup of milk, well, there could be a number of reasons. You can try giving him a liver supplement. It could be a thyroid problem if he's not eating well. And if the problem is that he's not eating any new food, then you need to put in a new food to his favorite food. So if chicken bones and milk is his favorite food, you need to start adding a little bit of the new food to that same food. And slowly, as he starts accepting, keep on increasing the quantity of the new food in his favorite food, and decreasing the favorite food little by little. So you make the dog first familiar with the new food, and slowly add the new food. Another thing, dogs also go by texture. So for example, if you're trying carrots for your dog, if he's not eating chopped carrots, you can try grating them. You can try pureeing them. So texture is also important. Sometimes dogs like some kind of texture, sometimes they like some other kind of texture. Okay. So, are there any new questions that I've got? Bell peppers. Bell peppers are very good. I think people have answered it. What salads are good for dogs? Lots of salads. Cucumber, you can give cucumber. And is the question only relevant to the ingredients, or you would also like to know the way of feeding salads to your dog, or fibrous foods basically for your dog? So there are a number of ways, and there are a number of ingredients. Apples are also very good. They are fibrous, and I have a recipe called Slim Dog Salad on my channel, called YouTube channel called Pet Kitchen with Keith Rao. And that salad that consists of cucumber, cilantro, as well as apples. I have a recipe called Cool Cubes, which includes cucumbers again. So it's a very good snack for your dog in the summer, and it's cooling and it gives fiber. So the carrots, you can grate the carrots and maybe blanch them and give them. But raw salads are not recommended for dogs, because dogs cannot digest raw cellulose matter. Either it has to be pureed or fermented or blanched, something to make it easier for dogs to digest plant matter. Okay. So, yes, tomatoes are not good for dogs. They should not be given. I agree with the comments here. Which species are good? Which are the dals? Do you mean dal like the lentils? Are good. Okay, so they are not, okay, they are very two different questions. The species, I would not be able to comment on that. I can tell you which food is good for which species and stuff like that. But for me, all species are good. I love all kinds of dogs, but it totally depends on you. What kind of dog do you want? From the limited knowledge that I have about species of dogs, I can answer. For example, we needed a guard dog. We have a big house, and we are a joint family. Our house is rarely locked it's almost open. So we really needed a guard dog. So we have a pit bull and we have a Rottweiler. But if you keep a Rottweiler, you have to be firm in your heart to be able to train a Rottweiler. Otherwise, the Rottweiler can try to control you. And in the training, you have to be a little headstrong with the Rottweiler. So I think it depends on the reason. Otherwise, German Shepherds are also very good for the purpose of guard dogs. So it totally depends on your purpose. If you have small kids, I think Labradors and Golden Retrievers are good. They are friendly dogs. And I think it would be better if you ask a breeder that question. But this is what I knew about that. And what was your other question? Which dals are good? All dals are good for dogs. But as I said before, dals and lentils and beans like rajma, they need to be pre-soaked and then cooked. And when you soak them in water, we need to throw away that water. So legumes, lentils, beans, they all consist of phytic acids. Phytic acids are anti-nutrients. Anti-nutrients means that they hinder the absorption of other nutrients. But when we pre-soak them and throw away that water, what happens is their phytic acids get released into the water and we're throwing it away. So the lentils and the beans, they become more nutritious. And isn't that amazing that we as Indians already knew that in our Ayurveda? So I think in every Indian household, rajma, dal and things like that are always pre-soaked and cooked. So there are certain knowledge that we as Indians already have it inherent in us. Okay, so the next question is, which spices are good? Oh, I'm so sorry. You had written which spices are good. I read it which species are good. Okay, which spices are good? All spices are good. No, sorry, not all spices. Most spices are good. Turmeric is very, very good, just like it is good. Sorry, it was poor connection in between. So dogs anyways have a lot of heat energy in them. Giving them more warming foods does not help. You have to counterbalance the effect of the foods going inside them. So if you give a turmeric paste, which is propagated very much these days, it's not sufficient. You have to add cardamom powder to it as well. And I also add a vitamin E capsule to my paste because it helps in giving the coconut oil that you add in your turmeric paste a longer shelf life, because fatty acids are very brittle compounds. Then what is the Golden Sangeeta Desai, ma'am Sangeeta Desai is asking golden paste. Golden paste is a turmeric paste. You can just check out the recipe on my YouTube channel, Pet Kitchen with be able to understand it. Talking about raw meats these days, raw meat is being propagated as the best diet. Barf diet, bone and raw food diet is the best diet for dogs, is what we are hearing these days in India. Although this diet has been popular abroad since 20 odd years, there was a doctor or a veterinarian in Australia, Dr. Billinghurst, he gave this idea of the barf diet. So I feel if you're able to serve a raw diet to your dog, it's very good. Just like I said before, I do not recommend that only one kind of food is good for your dog. Just like one kind of food cannot be right for all the kinds of people in this whole. One kind of food cannot be right for all the kinds of dogs. It also depends on your demographics and stuff like that. But coming back to whether we should give a raw diet to our dogs or not. Number one, you as a pet parent have to be comfortable with the idea. So in my experience, I have come across very few pet parents as of now in India who are comfortable in serving a raw diet to their dogs, in giving raw eggs, raw chicken, raw bones. So if you can do that, it's very good. Raw diet has shown very good results in dogs. It has shown to reduce skin problems. It has shown to improve coat problems. If you do that, it's. However, you need to keep in a few points in mind when feeding a raw diet. The source from where you're getting raw meats for your dog is important. So are they being stored properly? Are they, there are no electricity power cuts the way they happen in our country, and that the meat is thawing inside the refrigerator and then again getting refrigerated or frozen. Number one is that. Number two, if you're serving ground meats to your dog, so the ground meats need to be, I would say that ground the meats on your own. Do not buy ground meats from anybody. I would not be sure to buy ground meats myself for my dogs from anywhere. Another thing, if you're buying raw meats as an ingredient for your dog's food, you're not going to buy fresh raw meats for every meal. You're going to batch buy them and batch store them. So what is the right way of storing the raw meats is very important. You cannot take out the whole batch out of the refrigerator, thaw it, and then again put it back in the freezer, because every time you defreeze it, it gets exposed to moisture, and that promotes bacterial and yeast infestations in the raw food of your dog. So better to bring raw foods and put them in small containers for every meal size containers, and bring them out of the freezer whenever you're going to serve it to your dog. So yes, raw diets are very good if your dog accepts, and if you as a pet parent are comfortable, do go ahead and give raw diets to your dog. But provided you take these considerations. However, at the same time, I feel, having understood dog nutrition, human intelligence must be used to design a balanced diet for dogs that all pet parents can serve to their pets. The next question, did I miss any question? Would you have a diet recommendation for a dog to put on weight? Okay, that's also a question that I get many times. Well, again, diet is it's a complementary therapy for your dog to put on weight. However, you have to find out the underlying reasons. So, as I mentioned before, it could be thyroid, it could be so many things. You have to get a blood check, you have to take him to your veterinarian. There are so many underlying causes of your dog. It could be, sometimes it's a particular vitamin or a mineral deficiency also. So you can start adding vitamins or mineral supplements to your dog's food as well. Solely giving a high diet is not always the solution to give to make your dog increase weight. You have to check basically if you're feeding the right mix to your dog. Probably he's not getting the right amount of calories from the food he's getting. So maybe you need to change the ingredients. So you can send me, DM me and ask me. These are specific. These questions like these need specific answers. So you can give me the details and I'll be able to help you better. Okay. So what would I do to make my dog's food fat rich? Avocados, any new ingredient that you give to your dog, you have to give in a very little quantity. As far as I know, avocados should not really be given to your dog. But why would you want to make it fat rich? You just want to reach the ideal fat proportion, which is about 30 to 35%. And if you're giving meats to your dog or seeds to your dog, then it does fairly give the ideal proportion of fats in your dog. So I do not quite agree with the fact that you would want to make your dog's diet fat rich. I think it's fat balanced, and if you're giving a balanced diet, it would be there. So what food ingredient is good for skin? So there are many, you need to find out what's happening with your dog. Is he on a dry food diet? Especially in the summer, a dry food diet will increase the body heat, and the heat will come out more in the form of rashes and itching. So you have to figure out the reason, and then usually dogs with skin problems get on a hypoallergenic diet, which mostly consists of rice, which is gluten-free. It would also be having potatoes or chicken, as I mentioned before. But mostly these dogs must be lacking some kind of nutrient. Amino acids work very well for many dogs who are losing hair or have skin problems. The reason for poor skin condition could also be a lack of good fats in the diet, because fat on the walls of the cells, and if there is not good fat, or the fat is degraded because it has been kept in the open or in the summer and heat, then the fat doesn't work. Although we feel we are adding fat, but the fat doesn't work. So it could be so many things, or maybe your dog is not able to absorb the nutrients from his food because he does not chew it, or his digestion is not up to the mark. So you have to figure out what is the reason and then act on it accordingly. Then, is it helpful to add salmon oil daily for your furry dog? Mine is a husky. Yes, salmon oil is a very good source, but I would again suggest not adding one kind of oil. Please rotate the oils. Also, salmon oil is a fragile oil, so make sure you store it properly. Even if you're adding it to your dog's food every day, you need to store it well. You need to store it away from heat and light, so it makes a very good oil addition. In fact, in my recipe Slim Dog Salad, I use salmon oil, fish oil for the recipe. So how to give ground meat? As I told you, please grind the meat on your own. Do not trust ground meat sources. I mean, this is my personal decision. For my dogs, I do not account, or I do not really rely on the ground meat that I buy, because you can never tell what the ground meat was. So I like to make the grind or the minced meats myself, and you can cook them. If you feed your dogs raw, you can give them raw. There is no problem for chicken, both work well, but I prefer giving only chicken to my dogs in the summer because it is less warming than the red meat. How do you ground a meat? You can simply do that in a food processor. Pumpkin strands. I do not understand pumpkin strands. I'm sorry. Maybe you're referring to pumpkin seeds. If yes, then you can pre-soak them and roast them. This is an Ayurvedic concept. It improves digestibility. All the pumpkin seeds are not very warming, but still I would recommend pre-soaking them. So okay, is there any other question? So, is it necessary that the dog chews his food or digestion takes place irrespective of chewing? That's a good question. See, digestion does take place, but the question is how well does it take place? So, and how much do you want to pamper your dog? So, I do like to mash, or I do like to cut into pieces. It does improve digestion. So, but if your dog is young, healthy, it's not always required to do that, because people are, after all, serving raw diets to their dogs which are not cut into any pieces or anything, and they're digesting it very well. So it again boils down to a personal choice. I like to do that because before I undertook this course, my dogs before I started learning on pet nutrition, my dogs were not really on a raw diet or on these kinds of diets. So they were used to very highly cooked diets like roti and stuff like that. Even I have done those mistakes with my dogs before, but I don't do that anymore. But and also my dogs are older now, especially Brutus. He's more than 10 years old. So now I don't want to make that transition for him. But if you can, you need to do that transition slowly, and your dog should adapt to it. Can I get in touch with you to get a balanced diet for both my babies? How do I reach you? So you can reach me on my Instagram. It's called Pet Kitchen with Geet Rao. I think I'll have to show it to you this way. This Pet Kitchen with Geet Rao. This is exactly what my Instagram ID is, and you can DM me on my Instagram, and I will reply to you. I am mostly available on Instagram very fast. Okay, fussy eaters. So fussy eaters, you have to introduce the new diet slowly, remove 10% of the old diet, and then start adding 10% of the new food to his favorite food. Keep it to that for next 3 or 4 days, and then slowly add more of the new food, replace a bit of the old food, and make him used to the new food. But when you're introducing the new food, take it one new food at a time, so that you have to slowly make the dog familiar to the new food. And the last question is, doesn't eat kibble, so I add 200 grams chicken with veggies. That's very good what you're doing. And if he doesn't eat kibble, I would suggest that please do not force your dogs to eating what they don't like, what they don't accept. So dogs have no say in deciding their own food, but they are an intelligent species. Natural instincts to decide what is the best for them. And if your dog is not accepting kibble, please don't force him to have kibble. You can add so many other things to make this fresh homemade diet balanced as well. You can do chicken, veggies, you can start adding broken rice, you can add oats, you can add a bit of curd, you can start adding seeds to make the diet wholesome and complete. So I think we are pretty much done, and thank you. If any of the viewers would like to see the recipes again, here are the recipes. This was the veg recipe with rajma, moong dal, sprouts, pumpkin cooked, boiled peas, sesame seeds, coconut oil and coriander. And this was the non-veg recipe for the viewers again, please. We will put them up and I'll share them with Dogspot and they will put the recipes. So, alright, thank you so much, and if any other questions, you can send them to me on my Instagram and I would be happy to answer. Thank you for having me, Dogspot. Thank you for having me, Rana. Thank you for having me, Saloni. Thank you so much, and thank you all the viewers for taking out your time to watch this. Your viewership, your participation encourages me as a pet nutritionist to work harder and better for your dogs. Bye-bye.